grand opening is in Pink Hills.
I'll now call the regular council meeting of March 17 to order.
Thought it might have been.
The invocation tonight will be read by Councilperson Cook.
Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this day. Help us to use good judgment for the business at hand and guide us in wisdom with the continuing sense of truth and fairness for the community we represent.
While you're standing, if you would, I'd like to take a moment of silence to honor the 13 service people that have been killed in the Iraq War. Iran, excuse me. Thank you. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. Donovan?
Here.
Mrs. Dowling?
Absent, with approval.
Mr. Kirchner?
Here.
Mr. Krieger?
Here.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Here.
Mr. Blake?
Here. Okay, before we go, I want to give Chief Gunch an opportunity to speak about the service awards that happened today. There he is over there.
Switch over there.
Change it up on you. Thank you very much, members of council. Today we had 2 police officers and a civilian employee honored for their service that they conducted in 2025. Rob Rodriguez was nominated and voted by his members, our peers in the police department, as Civilian of the Year, and Rich Gerber was nominated and selected as Officer of the Year. And then also, Officer Jeremy Epling, he was nominated and approved by the VFW as the VFW Public Servant of the Year. And Mr. Zonneville, Mr. Bob Zonneville, most of us know him, he was present today and he presented the award to Officer Epling. If you want to stand up here, Jeremy. And I'd like to just read the award that was presented to him. So, Patrolman Epling has served in the Mentor Police Department for over 10 years and has demonstrated an excellence in the performance of his duties and shown consistent dedication to the field of criminal justice. Jeremy is a member of the SWAT team, sniper team, an evidence technician, tactical medical instructor, field training officer, and range officer. Patrolman Epling excels at all these specialties as well as his regular patrol duties. Patrolman Epling is a leader amongst his peers in the patrol division. He is respected in the department for the work he does and his dedication to the police department. These attributes are the reason he was selected as an acting sergeant in September of 2025. Patrolman Epling has done an excellent job in performing this role, which was a tremendous help to the department. Patrolman Epling routinely assists fellow officers while working and takes steps further by using his skills to help them repair their cars on his off time. Patrolman Epling understands that service goes beyond just the hours he is at work. He's active in the Mentor Patrolman Athletic Association Cops and Kids program. He actively participates in our Cops and Kids Christmas party, our Shop with a Cop, Fill a Cruiser, and Cops and Kids Captains event that honors students that make a positive impact in their school communities. Patrolman Epling is a great role model for the many young officers that we have at our department. He's dedicated and service are unparalleled. He's always done the right thing for the right reasons. He's a dedicated servant who goes above and beyond, help the department, and he helps the community. So with that, he was nominated and awarded VFW Public Service of the Year. So. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Okay, council, you're in receipt of the minutes of the February 17, 2026 regular meeting. What is your pleasure?
Move to approve?
Second. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Okay, we have one public hearing this evening. The public hearing is now called to order and is being held pursuant to duly noticed, published, and posted according to the law. Resolution number 26-R-106.
A resolution approving for the purpose of Section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, the issuance by the Public Finance Authority of bonds on behalf of Kings Path Senior Ministries, Inc., not to exceed $165 million.
Okay, Mr. Zeman, would you like to provide a brief overview?
Yes, thank you. This is really, as with all things with the IRS, can be a little bit confusing. So the bottom line is that a public authority in Wisconsin wants to issue governmental bonds, but it's not to benefit the government, it's to benefit a private enterprise. And in order to do that and have the bonds tax exempt, the local jurisdiction where the project is located, being the city of Mentor, has to indicate its approval for that issuance for that project. And so you're in receipt of information relative to this nonprofit and how they want to acquire a skilled nursing facility in order to continue operation of the business. That acquisition is going to be financed through this bond issuance. And so you're not approving the bonds per se, you're not approving the project per se, you're just effectively saying the project looks good and acknowledging that it is a public purpose and that there's effectively no objection by virtue of your approval to the bonds being issued for this project.
Thank you. Anyone wishing to speak in favor? None. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Okay, hearing none, council is in receipt of all correspondence received pertaining to this matter. The public hearing is adjourned. Table legislation, we have none. Under new legislation, we have ordinance number 26-0-015.
An ordinance to authorize advances of funds and revisions to appropriations and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Flippek, any comments from the administration?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Regantri, please.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. Members of council, included in the ordinance is an advance to continue the paydown for the Wood Norton Way project. And in terms of the appropriation revisions, a couple main ones. One item is to allocate $147,000 in additional appropriations to cover the sidewalk project, which is the following ordinance for council's consideration, the awarding of that project. And then allocating $200,000 for various IT and cybersecurity needs.
Council, any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to suspend?
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Approve.
Move to approve?
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 26-0-1015 is passed. Next, we have ordinance number 26-0-016.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to award a bid contract to TC Construction Company, Inc. for the sidewalk repair pedestrian safety program, Zone 1F, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Filipiak, any comments from the administration?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I'll turn this over to Mr. Swigger in a second, but I will, just to let you know that this is the final contract that completes the first full cycle of sidewalk repairs in our city. A program we started 14 years ago now, and as I said earlier, when we commented the last time on this, Mr. Swigger gets to start this all over again. So, Mr. Swigger.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. Bids are open on February 27th for the Sidewalk Repair and Pedestrian Safety Program, Zone 1F. This is in the extreme southeast corner of the city. 5 bids were received for the project. Bids range from a low bid of approximately $644,000 to a high bid of approximately $698,000. The engineer's opinion of probable construction cost was $680,000. To give you another perspective, last year's bid was $12 per square foot, which came to about $300 per slab. And this year it's $12.40 per square foot, or $310 per slab. When we started this program, the average slab cost about $150 to replace. The best and lowest bid was received from TC Construction Incorporated of Willoughby Hills, Ohio. His bid was found to be in conformance with all contract requirements. TC Construction was the lowest bidder and has demonstrated their ability to complete contracts of similar size and scope on past projects. It's therefore recommended that this contract be awarded to TC Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $644,580. It's anticipated that the work will begin in April, with a project completion specified for July 31st. Thank you.
Questions, council? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, Mr. Vice President?
Sure, go
I
ahead.
just had a few questions. I think we've all seen the paint on the sidewalks. Could you just take me through what they mean and the responsibility of each homeowner and what the city covers? And I think you did answer one of my questions. There's 14 zones? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
So now you restart?
We intend to restart,
Okay.
but I could summarize some of
Please.
that. Basically, we inspect each of, one of the 14 zones annually. We mark the sidewalks with white or green paint. If it's green paint, that's indication that's a city-covered sidewalk. City covers sidewalks that are compromised due to street trees, roots typically. And that would be a tree that would be between a sidewalk and the street. If it's behind the sidewalk, we don't cover the roots impacts. We also cover impacts from utilities, whether it be a sanitary manhole, a storm manhole, or a pipe, like subsidence in the earth above a pipe that causes the sidewalk to settle. But usually it's related to a structure, like a manhole, so to speak. So basically, we'll mark with certain symbols, depending on the distress that is observed on the sidewalk. But if you see a V, that's typically a vertical violation. Sidewalk is either heaved or settled, and those can be addressed by slab jacking or replaced by the resident. If there's an X, there are violations that require removal, so they wouldn't be able to either slab jack or grind, or typically there's some cracks. You can also crack seal as well. If you see a C, that would be a crack seal, a crack violation that could be corrected with crack sealing. So there are a number of others that I can provide you with some more detail on.
So at the end of a season, right, the inspectors go out, they're marking the pavement. Is the homeowner given some time to make the repair themselves before, so last summer's inspections are this year's installations, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, we sent out a letter and an inspection form that documents our inspection and what the violations are, what the stresses are. And we give the residents typically 45 days to make the repair. That's officially, but that unofficially, it goes until the next season.
Okay. All right. And this is the end of the complete cycle of the city, of the sidewalk program?
It is. So when we began the program, a lot of those questions needed to be answered. I should also point out that those symbols that Mr. Swigger described are provided to the homeowners in the form of a letter. So they'll get plenty of communication, and they have an opportunity to reach back out. And it's fairly common for residents to have questions and we answer, or for us to make a second visit out there to talk residents through. I think that what we found in the early years of the program is that a lot of the residents would try to collaborate together within a neighborhood and hire a contractor to do it. But then they came to realize that with the size of our program, it was actually more cost effective for them to just allow the city to take care of those replacement slabs. We also, so when the city does that work, City Council approves that through assessment. We will generally internally finance the cost of that, place it on the rolls for assessment over a period of 3 years to give the residents longer than just a single year to pay that off.
Thank you. And Ken, have you ever, since we're through all of it now, have you ever kicked around the idea of an expansion of the sidewalk program to connect sidewalks that maybe, I can kind of think like, I'm just going to throw out, I can use like Hopkins as, for example, and Hopkins is one of the original roads, right? All the side streets went in. At that time, the code was required for sidewalks. So you see a lot of areas where there's corner lots, right? And the sidewalk comes around the corner lot and ends. And then there's a gap, 2 or 3 parcels, and then the very same thing. Have you ever, now that we're through this program, given it some thought of the expansion of the sidewalk program, which in turn, if we could add some additional square footage to this, would drive the unit price down for the homeowner that's going to pay out of pocket, and in theory, create a little bit more walkable areas for people, just more of a walkable zones. Have you?
Yeah, sure. We have had those discussions in the past. The absence of sidewalks sections in our city can be any number of things. It can be those subdivisions were built before sidewalk requirements were in place. Someone removed the sidewalks because at some point in time they deteriorated and they just chose to remove them without replacing them. Or it came at a time where the city didn't require sidewalks to be put in place in an entire phased area or an entire subdivision. And so they depended on those sidewalk sections to be built as those lots were developed. So a lot of reasons why sections are missing. I know that we talked about, the city council talked at the time, again, going back 14 years, different council talked about that, but it was decided that, so the question was, do we include those sections that were missing as a requirement for replacement at the beginning of the program? And I think ultimately, after a lot of discussion, it was decided that that wasn't the right time to do it because there were so many poor slabs in the city, in sections in different neighborhoods, that was a pretty high cost burden. So we wanted to get past the worst of it first, and here we are 14 years later. So I think that is how those replacing those sections, I think, is something that council probably something you may choose to take up as a discussion item down the road, keeping in mind that at some point in time, every homeowner ultimately paid for their sidewalk. So it addresses the question, you would have to address the question of how those would get paid for. Typically, we would assess for infrastructure that is an improvement to a property. So those are questions that you can wrestle with perhaps down the road.
Thank you.
Move to suspend?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes. Move to approve?
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ordinance number 26-0-016 has passed. Ordinance number 26-0-017.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to award a bid contract to Phillips Paving LLC for the asphalt road repair program and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Flippia?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Council, both ordinance 17 and 18 deal with our asphalt and concrete road contracts. I think Mr. Swigger, I'll turn it over to him in just a second, but you're going to find that we get some very good bids. So we did have a difficult winter, as we all experienced, and I'm sure that we'll have the opportunity to probably add a couple of streets to the program as we see how the spring reacts to our harsh winter. So, Mr. Swigger, you want to take this?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. 5 bids were opened on Friday, March 6th for the 2026 asphalt road repair program. The project will provide asphalt repairs and resurfacing to 19 city streets. The bid package consisted of a base bid and 3 alternates. The streets included for resurfacing in the city of Mentor are Perkins, Carroll, Welland, Sylvia, Stamford, RG, Westmore, Brentwood, Comanche, Longhorn, Hawk, Eric, Ohio Street, Blackbrook, Willowbrook, Dorwood. Quantities under alternate 1 will be utilized for work that will take place in Mentor on the Lake. The quantities with alternates 2, 3, and 4 for repairs performed on Dawson Boulevard, Ivy Court, and Wheeler Court. The 5 bids range from a low bid for the base bid and the 4 alternates from $1.3 million to a high bid of approximately $1.7 million. It was determined that Phillips Paving of Chagrin Falls, Ohio, submitted the lowest total bid of $1,327,253. The engineer's opinion of probable construction cost was $1.5 million. A review of the bid from Phillips Paving LLC indicates it's in conformance with all contract requirements. It would indicate that in 2025, the bid was awarded at $205 per cubic yard of asphalt. This year, it is $210. Thank you.
Move to suspend?
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes. Move to approve?
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ordinance number 26-0-017 has passed. Ordinance number 26-0-018.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to award a bid contract to A&J Cement Contractors, Inc. for the 2026 concrete road repair program and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Flippia.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Swigger, please.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. 3 bids are opened on Friday, March 6th for the 2026 concrete road repair program. The project will provide full-depth concrete repairs to 11 city streets. The bid package consisted of a base bid and 2 alternates. The streets included in the base bid are Civic Center Boulevard, Hudson Avenue, Brays Manor, Ridgeway Drive, Malabar Court, Palmerston Court, Silver Mound, Gatewood, Mallard Court, Rosemary Lane. Quantities under alternate 1 will be utilized for work within Menor on the Lake. Quantities within alternate 2 are for repairs to be performed on Winthrop Court. The 3 bids received for the base bid and alternates 1 and 2 range from a low bid of approximately $2 million to a high bid of approximately $2.3 million. It's been determined that A&J Cement Contractors Incorporated of Euclid, Ohio, submitted the lowest bid of $2,016,851. The engineer's opinion of probable construction cost for the project was $2,384,702. A review of the bid from A&J Cement Contractors indicates it's in conformance with all contract requirements. It's therefore recommended that a contract in the amount of $2,016,851 be awarded to A&J Cement Contractors. The scheduled final completion date for the project is October 16th. Thank you.
Mr. Vice President,
Yes.
I have a question. Ken, Dave, on the map that I have of Ward 1 and the concrete roadways to be done, the east-west section of Kellogg Creek is highlighted in there. So I might be catching you on a technicality to add that. But if you look at the Ward 1 map, it's highlighted in red.
Okay, I can check to see if we
You
have
check
that.
and see if that's included.
Yeah, highlighted unnecessarily.
That roadway certainly would appreciate it.
Thank you.
You know, come to think of it, I think we might have, did we do that in the past already?
Did some of that, yeah, already. I'll check to see if we have
if
any
you could-
specified for it, and I'll let you know.
Take a look at it. Good. Thanks.
Counsel?
Move to suspend?
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes. Move to approve?
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ordinance number 26-0-018 has passed. Ordinance number 26-0-019.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 21-053 and the revised Bolton Development Plan to substitute the approved Sub-Area A preliminary development plan with a revised Sub-Area A preliminary development plan.
Mr. Zeman?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of council. The Planning Commission reviewed a proposed amendment submitted by the current property owner of what we've more or less still refer to as the Bolton property. The Planning Commission's judgment, and this pertains only to Sub-Area A, that being the area of the single-family homes, proposed single-family homes located at 615 and Route 84. The Planning Commission, having reviewed the application, determined that it is not in substantial agreement with the approved development plan. As pursuant to code, then, the council is required to act on the application within a reasonable period of time, which is why it's before you tonight. Just so it's clear, a yes vote would substitute the applicant's proposed revised sub-area preliminary development plan with the current approved preliminary development plan. A no vote means that you're rejecting it as not in substantial agreement, and therefore the approved plan stands and remains the approved plan.
Ms. Flippik, any questions? Anything from the administration?
Nothing to add, although Mrs. Cantanzariti can, if you have any questions on the details of what the changes are, she'd be happy to answer those questions.
Counsel?
I'll make a motion to bring this preliminary site plan to a vote.
though.
We need to suspend the rule.
Just suspend this, just suspend.
Suspend it.
Doesn't say emergency on it.
It's always, you always say.
It's
to
always an
suspend.
emergency?
No.
After 10 years now?
No, you just
I
always have
drew
to
on
suspend
the
rule.
wisdom
Okay.
of this, of
Move
our
to
law director.
suspend.
Yeah, so-
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Is this for an emergency or?
No,
suspend.
It's just to
Just
suspend the
suspending the
rule.
rule.
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes. Okay, now I'll make that motion to
Approve.
to bring this to a vote on this development plan.
Second.
Move to approve.
Motion for approval, you said?
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
No.
Mr. Donovan?
No.
Mr. Kirchner?
No.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
No.
Mr. Blake?
No.
Okay, ordinance number 26-0-019 has been denied. Next, we have ordinance number 26-0-020.
An ordinance appealing ordinance number 26-0-014, authorizing the city manager to process a change order to the contract with Zerby Construction LLC for the construction of a water slide at Civic Center Pool and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Foote?
Thank you, Mr. President. And council, my apologies for returning this to your agenda. After some constructive conversation with our law director, we agreed that this would be best to be applied to one of the three active contracts on site at our Civic Center Pool Complex. As a reminder of what this change order constitutes, Council approved in January of 2025 the installation of a water slide. That contract was awarded to Zerby Construction. While that contract was moving forward, we were under design for the water splash pad at the Civic Center Pool site. It was determined through the design phase that the city could save some money by adding a portion onto the building that was under contract for the water slide and consolidate the two mechanical components into a single structure. So we decided to move forward with that. It made sense to move forward with that as a change order. And so that is what appears before you. The change order constitutes the construction of a foundation for the project, for the addition, the above-ground and mechanical components, so the actual structure itself, and then finished materials which would wrap the entirety of the building. So both the original building under the water slide contract and the addition to the building for the water slide contract that would house the mechanical components for the splash pad. The cost for this project proceeded under both the terms of our existing contract, which requires the contractor to submit for approval a cost that is the actual cost of labor and the actual cost of materials plus 15%. So that is what has been applied in this case, and happy to answer any questions for you.
Council?
Move to suspend?
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes. Move to approve?
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Excuse me, Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ordinance number 26-0-020 has passed. Resolution number 26-R-106.
A resolution approving for the purpose of Section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, the issuance of the Public Finance Authority of bonds on behalf of Kings Path Senior Ministries, Inc., not to exceed $165 million.
Gentlemen and ladies, well, Janet's not here, so it's just gentlemen. We've already had a discussion. Joe's put his viewpoint out there. If you want to suspend, we can go for it, or if you have questions, feel free.
Mr. Vice President?
Yep.
On this item, I'm going to be recusing myself due to a potential conflict, but I am free to make the motion to suspend.
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Move to approve?
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Resolution number 26-R-106 has been adopted. Resolution number 26-R-107.
Sorry. A resolution designating March 18th, 2026 as John Reynolds Day in the city of Mentor, County of Lake, State of Ohio, in honor of his contribution to our nation during the American Revolutionary War and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Flippyak, I'm
Thank you,
turning it over
Mr.
to our resident historian.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vice President. I would ask that you don't often get to hear from our Public Information Officer, Mr. Legarsik, but he is also our in-house historian, and you have two resolutions honoring two of the Revolutionary War veterans that are part of our America 250 celebration. So, Mr. Legarsik, if you don't mind saying a couple words about this gentleman.
I'll be pleased to, Mr. Filipiak. Thank you, members of council. The two gentlemen we're going to be honoring, John Reynolds, tomorrow on March 18th. He enlisted in 1776 at the age of 15 as a musician, and he served until 1783. He was part of the Lexington Alarm, and he was at Bunker Hill as well as Valley Forge. In later years, he served as a judge, so he was probably one of the most prominent of the gentlemen that ended up moving here to Mentor Township back in the day. And he was ultimately buried in Bliss Road Cemetery, which is on today's King Memorial Road. It's where there are some private homes now. There's a long story behind that. It's too long to get into tonight. But the long story short is that a headstone was placed in his honor at the Mentor Municipal Cemetery in the late 50s by Jack Daniels, who was also a council person and a historian. So that was a nice gesture back in the day. The second gentleman is Garrett Brass. We're going to be honoring him on March 29th. Mr. Brass enlisted in 1781 at the age of 15, and he also served until 1783. What made him special is he was actually in New York on evacuation day with George Washington when the British left that city, marking the end of the war. Mr. Brass moved to Mentor and with his family, and they farmed a property on Garfield Road, basically between Mentor Avenue and Route 84, and his cabin where he passed away was near the corner of 84 and Garfield Road. He came to a bit of a tragic and colorful end, which we'll also not get into today, but we will post that a little bit later. He is interred at the Mentor Municipal Cemetery. And when we spoke last time about the gestures that we're putting forth for these veterans, it was picked up by a descendant of his, Todd Brighton, who is a Revolutionary War historian from Michigan. He picked up on the story, he reached out, and we made contact, and we'll be bringing him to the city in May to give a presentation. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Questions, gentlemen? I'll entertain a motion.
Okay. Move to suspend
Second.
on 107?
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes. Move to approve on 107?
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Resolution number 26-R-107 has been adopted. Resolution number 26-R-108.
A resolution designating March 29th, 2026 as Garrett Brass Day in the city of Mentor, County of Lake, State of Ohio, in honor of his contribution to our nation during the American Revolutionary War and declaring an emergency.
Council?
Move to suspend?
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes. Move to approve?
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Resolution number 26-R-108 has been adopted. There are second readings, there are none. Third readings, there are none. Managers report.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of council. Council, we have two open pavement cut requests from you. both at the same location, 7351 Maple Street. The first is a request from Pillar Excavating for a new 6-inch sanitary sewer connection. Ask for your approval.
Council?
Move to approve?
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Thank you, Council. And the second, again, is at 7351 Maple Street. This is for a request from Aqua Ohio for a new 1-inch water service connection.
Move to approve?
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Thank you, Council. Council, weather has obviously been a bit of an issue for us in the last week or more here. So I want to comment about our rain event last Wednesday. As you know, we had a significant rain event in the city, resulted in some of the areas receiving up to 3.5 inches of rain in about a 5 to 6 hour period that morning, predominantly in the morning. We identified about 8 intersections that were holding significant water, either blocking passage that required us to make a closure or requiring some maneuvering to pass. All of these were attributed to natural debris, either blocking or a portion of piping or covering inlet basins. In one case, and I had a conversation with Councilman Pinkerman earlier, we actually had a blockage caused by beavers that did their busy work within one of our outlet pipes. So if you have any questions, Mr. Vernon would be happy to answer those. I did want to say, though, just for our residents' benefit, that when we have these large events, it moves, the volume of water moves a lot of natural debris. And they can definitely help out and help out the neighborhood by helping us to clear catch basins that are in the street that are visibly covered by heavy debris, whether that's leaves or other materials. If you see some buildup, we encourage people to contact our Public Works Department as soon as possible so that they can go out and address the area before it becomes a greater problem. And I also wanted to remind our public that our engineering and public works personnel routinely will offer some helpful advice upon request on helping to remove water from private property. We get a lot of concerns from residents, or not a lot, but we usually on these heavy events will get persons contacting either council members or members of the administration that say, hey, I've got a lot of water in my backyard. What can the city do about it? So we will send someone out to have a look. If it's a problem on the city side, we will, of course, make plans to address the problem. Or if it isn't, then we can try to help offer some thoughts on how that private property owner can help provide some assistance to help get that water away from their property. So we encourage our residents to do that. On some other items, the 2026 Parks and Recreation Summer Program Guide will begin arriving in mailboxes this week and will be posted on the city website by the end of the week. The City of Mentor's 2026 Yard Waste Collection Program will begin on April 6th and it will run through December 11th this year. Each unit should weigh less than 35 pounds. Brush should not exceed 3 inches in diameter and must be cut into 4-foot lengths and tied in bundles. Grass clippings, plants, leaves, small twigs, hedge trimmings can be contained in paper yard waste bags or rigid containers up to 32-gallon capacity. And those containers must have holes drilled on the sides or near the bottom to allow the water to drain out. The lids must also be off, and they have to be marked with the letters YW for yard waste. These are all rules that are available on our website, but again, we encourage people to check that out before they put those items out on the curb. Right now, the collection, beginning April, the collection is limited to 12 units per week from April through the 3rd week of October, and that increases to 25 units in the fall, beginning with the last full week in October into December. Tax season, council is also upon us, and the deadline for filing Mentor municipal tax forms or exemption forms is Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. Residents can visit the RITA website at www.ritaohio.com to file their taxes, make a payment, check on the refund status, view their own payment history, or send Rita a secure email. They also have online access that will allow you to download forms if you prefer to file with paper forms. Well, we still have positions remaining for the 2026 Hometown Heroes Banner Program. Families and organizations can sponsor banners for $100 each to cover production costs, and deadline for participation is April 15th, 2026, or until all positions are filled. We also want to remind our residents that in mid-April to late April, we don't have the exact dates yet, the bridge on King Memorial Road that crosses Interstate 90, which is actually in Kirtland Hills, will be closed by ODOT for bridge deck repair. There will be no construction work within the city of Mentor, but there will be a detour in Mentor directing State Route 84 traffic to use either Chillicothe and Little Mountain Road. So a completion date will be shared once ODOT provides us an exact project schedule. We'll post that. We'll keep our council members informed on that as well. And hopefully that will go without a hitch, but should mean additional traffic through our community. And then also the bridge deck replacement project on Lakeshore Road over State Route 84 will be beginning their work relatively soon. And I've asked Mr. Swigger to give you an update on that because I know you've received some questions from some of the residents in that area. I think we're feeling pretty confident that there won't be really much of a disruption. But Mr. Swigger?
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. In preparation for the bridge deck replacement project, the Ohio Department of Transportation has been conducting daily lane closures on State Route 44 and Lakeshore Boulevard for pre-phase work. During Phase 1, State Route 44 South, the State Route 44 southbound exit ramp to Lakeshore Boulevard will be closed. The left turn access to the northbound ramp, entrance ramp to State Route 44 will also be closed. Two-way traffic, one lane in each direction, will be maintained over the bridge. Two-way traffic will be maintained throughout the duration of the project. The State Route 44 southbound entrance ramp and northbound exit ramp will remain open. The Phase 1 ramp closures are expected to start the first week of April. The detour routes utilizing State Route 44, State Route 2, Richmond Street in Paynesville, and Singer Avenue in Grand River will be established prior to the ramp closure. The duration of the Phase 1 ramp closures are expected to last about 5 months. State Route 44 southbound exit ramp and the northbound entrance ramp carry the fewest vehicles per day at this interchange, less than 200 vehicles per day each. By comparison, the other two ramps coming to and from State Route 2 carry about 6,000 vehicles per day apiece. The ramp closure and ramp restrictions are expected to have minor impacts on the motoring public. However, as a precaution, no through traffic signs will be installed by the city on Highland Way prior to the ramp closures taking place. We'll be monitoring traffic throughout the duration of the project, and we'll be coordinating any concerns with ODOT. The project completion is currently scheduled for July of 2027. However, most of the work is expected to be complete by the end of this year, this fall, with all lanes opening before the end of the year, with primarily painting taking place in 2027. Thank you.
So, Council, I know you've had some concerns expressed, and Mr. Krieger in particular, I know in your ward, they had from Lakeshore Highlands subdivision, who anticipates that a lot of that traffic may make their way through there. We don't anticipate that because the two-way traffic will be sustained throughout that deck replacement project. However, as Mr. Swigger said, we will post signage there discouraging cut-through traffic. We will also be monitoring that through our police officers. It's restricted for large trucks to go through there, so we shouldn't have any issues with that. So we'll keep an eye on that as it goes forward. If it becomes a problem, we will try to work with ODOT for correction on that as well.
Appreciate it.
Yep. And finally, Council, we have two new businesses to announce. Actual Natural Soap Lab has been relocated to 7215 Center Street, and the Allergy Immunology Associates Incorporated is now doing business at 9500 Mentor Avenue. So we thank them for their investment in the community. And One final comment this evening from the administration. I know that this may be Mr. Zeman's last council meeting, and I just want to express how much we've appreciated working with you over the years. One capacity or another, you've been here, Joe, since the start, since I started with the city. Always been very professional, always had tremendous respect for the work you've done for the city and your presence in the courtroom, and it's been a pleasure working with you. I think all of our directors and members of the administration share that opinion, and wish you great luck
Thank you
in the
very much.
future.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for all those years.
Mr. President, Mr. Vice President,
Go ahead.
thank you, Joe, for your service. One of the smartest guys I ever met, actually. Thanks for writing all these ordinances over the years. You know them off the top of your head. Thanks so much for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Mr. Flipiak, I have a question, and I know I bugged you and Mr. Vernon a lot this winter with the sidewalk plow. And in the end, I think we had a mechanical problem with it, correct? I'm pretty sure me and Mr. Vernon had a talk when we were in the midst of a bad storm, and I just want to, like last year, maybe look into getting a couple more of those machines, or or a better brand of a machine. I've seen in the city surrounding, there's some that go right through the snow, and there's some that back up and have to ram the snow and all that kind of stuff. If we could start looking into maybe getting 2 or 3 more of those machines to take care of the city all at the same time, maybe one award or something like that. But I know we have to, and a lot of people don't understand, we have to keep the civic area open so people can get to work, and the main roads. They wonder why are they not doing the side roads? Well, we're doing Menor Avenue, we're doing 615, 306, things like that. But hopefully winter's coming to an end. But if with this council, if we could keep in mind that we need to work on these sidewalk snow plows and maybe monitor people who are not doing their job, cleaning up the front of their apartments and the box stores and that kind of thing. That's all I have to say. I just want to, I got a lot of calls this winter. I think everybody did. And if we could just look into doing I know we're trying to keep the main roads open, but there are a lot of people up in my ward who actually walk to the grocery store, and they were walking in the road. And I just want to put that on everybody let's keep in mind and see if we could do a little better next year. It's not on anybody. It's just we may need more equipment. Mr. Vernon, thanks for everything. I know I bugged you all winter. Hopefully winter's coming to an end, but thanks a lot for that.
Ken, I think if we're going to expand on the little that we do now, I think we're going to require some kind of a policy that's a fit for the whole city. And also, I think Matt brought up about people not in compliance. I think we need to enforce areas where there's critical areas where schools are involved, and the schools are involved, where I think we need to make sure the people that are responsible are doing it, and we're not doing it for them. So I know on Menor Avenue Business District, a lot of snow gets dumped off the roads onto the sidewalks, and I can understand certain areas, but I think if we're going to expand it to the wards and stuff, possibly we need to come up with a policy, maybe a work session at some point to discuss how we lay that policy out. So, clerk's correspondence? Oh, I'm sorry, another question?
I want to just also, Joe, our time together really was the Planning Commission. And I do want to thank you for your service. I know I was on for 8 years, and I could always know when I looked at you if I needed a bailout, you were there for me. So I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, clerk's correspondence.
Council is in receipt of the Menor Municipal Court month-end report for January 2026. A liquor permit transfer from Vine Beverage and Catering, Inc. at 5783 Heisley Road to DIAA LLC at 5783 Heisley Road. And a liquor permit, new, C2C1 for Ohio Springs, Inc., Heisley Road, Hendricks Road, Sheets, at permanent parcel number 16B0640000, intersection of Heisley and Hopkins Roads. And Joe, thank you. We've worked together for 22 years.
Wow.
Really 23.
Mr. President,
Started,
Thank you
yeah.
very much.
Mr. Vice President, I'm sorry. I just want to correct, on the agenda for the liquor license, it says Heisley and Hopkins Road.
Yeah.
It's correct on the sheet for Heisley and Hendricks Road.
Oh, Thank you for that. I didn't notice that.
Okay, commission and committee reports. Council going to receive the meeting minutes for the Community Arts Commission, January 8th, Board of Building and Zoning Appeals, January 13th, and the Municipal Planning Commission meetings from January 5th. Old business?
Mr. Vice President,
Yes?
I sound like a broken record on this, and I haven't asked in a month, but what kind of progress are we making on our problems at our intersection, Menor, Heisley, Chillicothe? Can we do that lane, Chillicothe northbound? What do you think?
Well, I would let Mr. Swigger answer that question. I know we are still studying that area. We've had cameras up there that
Okay,
can
that's
be
good.
viewed online, so we're paying much closer attention to traffic patterns out there. And I know that that data is being collected right now by the engineering department. When you ask about are we making progress, I think we have made some progress on the enforcement side, and I'll ask Chief Gunch to address that, please.
Yes, thank you. We have increased our enforcement over at Zappy's area right there, keeping the cars moving along. We've done over 10 citations and various written warnings and verbal warnings. We're keeping it moving. I know I've gone by there many times recently, and it seems that the traffic is really moving along better just from that enforcement action.
Good. Thank you, Chief.
Mr. Swigger, do you want to comment, please?
I would just say that we're still in the process of studying the intersection. I think the camera work's been very helpful, very insightful. We shared it with our consultants who are also working on the project. Once again, we're looking at timing changes possibly to that intersection in the entire corridor that we hope are going to make some short-term improvements. Still looking at the capacity and whatever options are going to be at the intersection. So we're currently still studying, but we're making progress.
You know, one thing I've noticed in some of the lights, and I'm specifically talking about the lights at Wayside, which run in tandem with Trader Joe's, and those seem to just be constantly on. Would it make sense to have those flashing yellow for Menor Avenue and, you know, make it into a stop sign again for Wayside? Because there's people who come up to Wayside, Trader Joe's is closed, and they're sitting there for a long period of time. That's a report that I get from one resident who says, even though she pulls up to where the trigger is, it just takes a long time, and there's no traffic coming, and she needs to turn left. Would we want to make those flashing instead of, you know, working all the time?
Typically wouldn't do that. I mean, they're typically either functional or they're not.
Yeah.
We do flash intersections at certain, times of the day, later in the day, early in the morning when we have very little traffic. But
Right.
typically, we wouldn't do that during the, let's say, daytime.
I don't know if that would contribute to the flow on Menor Avenue, but I think that it would possibly make people trying to come out of Wayside, which a lot of traffic does come out of there, not have to sit for inordinate periods of time when Trader Joe's is closed and there's not a lot.
Right now, the two are connected. I mean, they're basically operating as one
Right.
signal. So I think we could look at that to see if that can be.
I'd appreciate that. Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any other old business? New business?
Me again.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
That is, Ken, you made me think of this when you spoke about beavers. I was up at Springbrook Gardens Park a week ago.
They're really active there.
And their beavers, it seems, that was my suspect, trying to turn that beautiful little meandering creek that runs between, up to, and they're turning it into a second lake there. And I love all nature in Springbrook Gardens Park as long as they behave. Can't have beavers.
Beavers don't listen, though.
Altering what beautiful terrain we created there. And they're creating a nice lake, which is, some people like that, but I don't think that's in our plan.
No, I can address that, Councilman. It is incredible how productive beavers are in nature. They can recreate a dam in a day.
Yes.
And when I had mentioned the obstruction that they caused in Mr. Pinkerman's ward, we had to actually trap and remove those beavers because they were causing problems in the ditch that outlet pipe emptied into, which can also obviously cause other problems for us. So we are very much aware of what's happening at Springbrook, and while we appreciate nature just as well, and I can assure you that we can find those beavers a good home, but we cannot allow them to continue their reconstruction efforts out there.
So these aren't
So we will
Councilman Pinkerman's beavers then that have
No, they're
been relocated to Springbrook Gardens Park. This is a different
No, those are
family.
your beavers.
Okay.
We'll be working on relocating them.
Okay.
Yes,
Take them somewhere far,
yes.
but somewhere
President.
safe. We like beavers.
Mr. Donovan.
Since we're talking about animals, I don't know if anybody else has turkeys in their neighborhood lately. I have 2 turkeys roaming the neighborhood, honestly, chasing the mailman, the Amazon guy. I had to call the ODNR. People in my neighborhood or hunters, like, we'll take care of it. I'm like, no, don't be blasting the turkeys in your yard. Just to the people out there, I think they go after people in blue and green and don't feed them. If you feed them, they're coming back every day, and they follow the kids and they attack the kids. They come after the kids. They have big talons, and some of the turkeys are as tall as the children they're coming after, and it's the parents are concerned. So, yeah, ODNR, call them up. I don't have the number with me. If you have turkey problems and they're territorial, they'll come in and they'll stay. And I got out of my car the other day, and they were standing outside my door. They won't let you go down your driveway. And it's a little intimidating. And, but yeah, if you have a problem with them, call ODNR. You can't take them out yourself, so I guess they don't taste that good anyway, the wild ones, so don't think about that either. But a couple things surprised me about them. I looked out my back window. They fly out of the backyard and they go up in a tree about 50 feet and they sleep in a tree at night. I'm not a hunter. I didn't know that. I didn't know that turkeys slept in the trees. And then, yeah, if you need help. And also the geese, I have a geese problem again over at Brookview. 35 geese are hanging out together and trampling through the neighborhood. ODNR actually has a phone number for that. Don't put wire across your lakes. Don't be shooting arrows at the geese. There's a way to do it. Bring dogs in, this other kind. And the geese or the turkeys actually get trapped too. They'll trap them and move them. But since we're on the animal topic, we've had a little animal situation in our area. But ODNR, the number is very accessible. Call them. They'll give you all the advice you need to take care of that problem.
Mr. Cook?
This is from Mr. Flipiak. You touched on this a little bit, but I remember years ago, and I may not have the term right, but there was a program that you guys had, drainage assistance program. And I don't remember all the details, but I remember I used to refer people to it when I would get that question. And it was something like a couple residents could share the cost of material. Labor was provided by a third party. I'm not sure if it was a city or not. Can you touch base a little bit on why we did away with that program, some of the pitfalls from it, and I know you touched a little bit on it, but like what could residents do to help with standing of water? Because some people may not even have storm right in their front yard. Some people may. So how can we help with that? And I would be willing to look into working through a clone type program or something that we could do to help people with their standing water. So I just wanted, if you could touch base. I don't know if I'm calling it right, but please.
Sure, well, I can offer a little bit of history on that, as some other members of council as well. So it's been over a decade since we did away with the drainage assistance program, and I think, so what the program did was ask residents to cooperate together to, with, usually it entailed maybe 3 or 4 different property owners who would get together and agree and sign an agreement that the city would enter into an agreement with them on that said, we agree to pay for the cost of materials and the city would provide labor to help drain some of their predominantly rear yard areas. When, at a point in time, we had changed our public policy on that to do away with the drainage program, because essentially what we recognize, and this came, so I remember two particularly wet years, 2011 and 2014, where we had some very large rain events. They coincided with about this time of the year, where you still had ground partially frozen. So when that happens and you get rain events like we had last week, everything runs off as if it's hard surface. So, you know, it really taxes the capacity of any stormwater system. So what we acknowledged when we were debating and ending that program was that we were using public employees to to add water to our public storm system, and not putting the attention on the public system, which frankly is our primary responsibility. By the end of that program, because we had rededicated our public resources to taking care of the public system, we ended up completing that program for the people that remained on the list, primarily using private contractors. So essentially, the city was kind of subsidizing some of that work on people's private property. The result of that was a real strong focus on our storm system, and as I know this council knows, that's been a great success for us. We have cleaned and maintained and repaired and enlarged sections of our stormwater system. The system has predominantly been televised to tell us where we had issues and where we needed to address issues. We did the two-town stream restoration project, the Rice detention project, and every year, council approves dollars to help us enhance sections of our stormwater system in all 4 wards, and it's been a great success. So that was the thinking behind the ending of that program. I can't remember any other components of that question, but that's the history.
How we could help people remove water from
yeah,
their yard.
and I did kind of touch on that earlier. Right now, we try to focus our attention on assisting people to help them understand what their problems are. I know members of the Public Works Department as well as the Engineers Department will go out and visit with neighbors who have problems, make recommendations. Sometimes those are simple fixes. They're as simple as taking the downspouts might still be tied into their footer drains, which of course is illegal in the city. It might be just helping them re-landscape their property to help get the drainage away. It may mean reestablishing swales between properties, or either establishing or reestablishing rear yard drains. I had mentioned that, you know, a lot of those intersections that were flooded out last week were the cause of leaves and other debris just accumulating on the catch basins. So that happens in rear yards even more often, because everyone assumes that their neighbor is going to take care of that instead of them taking care of it. And so they really do have to work together. And so we still offer that advice, and we're happy to go out and do that. And I don't know, Mr. Swigger, if you want to comment on any of that.
I think you described it pretty well. We're always willing to offer technical advice at this point to any property owner that has a drainage issue. As you mentioned, some people don't have storm sewers near their property, so there might be some grading advice. But we're willing to meet with them on their at their property and offer advice.
Now, if someone hires a contractor, do they have to be a licensed contractor with the city even to work on private property,
Really, it
or
depends
to
on,
do the tie-on at the right of way?
it would depend on what's going on, what the scope is. But if you're coming out into the right of way, you'd need to have a registered contractor perform any work to connect to the storm sewer. We'd have to review a plan and approve a permit for that.
And do we have like a master list of licensed contractors?
We do.
The city does?
We keep a record of all registered contractors in the city.
Okay. So if somebody called Public Works and needed some advice and needed some help, we could further that advice with contractors and such help them.
We don't recommend any
No, right, you
contractors, but
just
we
provide a
provide them
list.
a list of
Yeah.
those who are doing business in the city.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Vice President? On that note, Westmore and Midland, we worked together, the engineers department. That sewer was undersized, and we extended it north, and that did a lot for that neighborhood, Midland and Westmore. We had phase two, and we found out we never had to do it because it was taking the water, and we saved a lot of money on that because I think phase two was going to cross Menor Avenue. It already crossed, but it had enough capacity to take that water. So in a situation like Mr. Cook's asking, we could look into neighborhoods and fix it that way through our own stormwater. What we do, you know, we go in, we increase, we do an engineering survey, and then we fix it. I think we did a lot of good on Midland and Westmore, and that's the kind of thing that could clear up a lot of water in a lot of houses and a lot of yards too. I know that Midland was only, I think it was only an 8-inch. Yeah, and that was definitely not enough back in the day. Back in the day it was, but when the houses got added. But yeah, that's a way to take care of it too. Do the mains.
Yeah, that Midland project was a real big success story, and I know you're aware of all the complaints and concerns that we had back some years back. And Brighton Road was on the list this year. So literally every year, I know council knows this because you're approving those projects. We've had great success with Ohio Public Works Commission on getting grants for a lot of those projects as well. And yeah, incrementally just continuing to add capacity to the system. And I think more than anything, though, I think, you know, despite all the investment that we've made as a community here, maintaining that system, maintaining the existing system and keeping it clean and free from obstructions has been the best thing we've done over the years.
I also think some sound advice is a lot of times, most people think, you know, I got to get a pipe in the ground, right, to remove stormwater. But a light swale goes a long way, and you know, it's only a couple inches per 100 feet. So most people don't understand that. They think I need to get water out of my backyard, right? I need to dig a trench and put in catch basins, and that couldn't be further from the truth. So the professional advice that you can give on light swales and bringing it to catch basins at the right of way really goes a long way. So I think the more professional advice we can give with that, be better.
One more thing, and Mr. Swigger, we talked about this. The retention and the detention ponds in some of the neighborhoods are not our responsibility. A lot of people think that. It's not our responsibility unless it's messing with our storm. And, you know, we have gone in certain occasions and dredged neighborhoods when it affected our storm. But, you know, it's hard for the people to understand that some of those detention and retention ponds in their neighborhood are the HOA and their responsibility. So just some more information there.
Other new business, council? I want to say, Joe, I want to congratulate you on your somewhat semi-retirement. You're not moving to Florida, so you'll still be near us. And I've served with, I'm pretty sure I served with 3 law directors, Jim Hackenberg and Richard Hennig and yourself, and they've all served us well. But I've always been amazed by your legal expertise and your ability and your willingness to take on Goliath and bring him to his knees on occasion. But for me, the best moment I ever shared with you, or that you shared with us, was when you did your 5-minute rebuttal to Painesville after months of us taking a beating, and Joe had finally had enough, and we still go wow about that night and talk about it, because that was, for me, the crowning moment of your career with me. But congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, is there no other new business? Okay, in that case, we're going to go to persons wishing to address council. First up tonight is Alex Fish. And come to the podium, and please give your name and address for the record, and just a reminder, you have 4 minutes to speak.
Test. Alex Fish at 6234 Glenwood Drive in Mentor, which I've lived at since 2017. Mr. Vice President of Council, thank you for the time to address you. So I have concerns regarding the pickleball park over by the pool and ice arena. A little facts before I get into it. I play pickleball and it is a rising popular sport among younger people like myself and for seniors and families with younger children alike. It is becoming increasingly popular by the year and to the point it newly became the state sport of Washington State. Good thing that new pickleball courts are being added here in Mentor, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was announced during the 2025 State of the City address, which was perfect timing. Back to our pickleball park in Mentor, it being one of the largest outdoor pickleball courts in the area, and we have people from all over, i.e. a 15-20 mile radius from Mentor. Bonus and kudos to it being in a free outdoor public city-owned park. My concerns. While the construction at the pool is largely unaffected at the time of this meeting, I do have outlined some of my main concern points. First is the time that the floodlights shut off. As of summer 2025, each of the lights at each group of courts turns off at different times, where some of us have to end up going to courts 1 through 6, which shut off as late as 11 p.m. during peak summer hours, while the others shut off in, I think, 30-minute intervals. I can't speak for the newest courts. Second is speakers and music. While I personally have not heard of any complaints to my knowledge about music from loudspeakers, some of our youngest players, including myself, do bring speakers to play at music at the courts. But what I'm concerned is that the music is blasted either too loud or too late / at the wrong time, or that where at that point may violate ordinances. Security. Last year, the only times where police officers were on standby is during Mentor Rocks Tuesdays. Why am I mentioning this, you may ask? I am noticing that there is an increase in unruly behaviors. Back in August, I had a friend not feel safe at pickleball one night and had to call the non-emergency police line. And that same person had to call it at other times for own reasons, but I can't go in depth for it. And that person suggests adding police officers during busy seasons just in case if something happens. While I can't speak if it's personally feasible, to conclude, I just want everyone to have a fun and safe pickleball experience here in Mentor. And thank you for the opportunity to express my First Amendment rights.
You're welcome, Alex. Next, we have Kathy Jo Kaiser. Please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, and just a reminder, you have 4 minutes.
Hi, I'm Kathy Jo Kaiser. I live at 9161 Jackson Street in Mentor. I'm in Ward 1. Real quick about me, I've moved here lived in Mentor since 1970. I was graduated at Mentor High School. I ran a military and owned a military machine shop on Tyler Boulevard for 30 years. And back in 2005, I purchased a home on Jackson Street, which is where I live now. It was built in 1864. Has a lot of history. I have exposed logs still in the ceilings and the beams. It's a beautiful home. And I bought the house with the understanding that when I retired, I could rent this out to people to help me with my income. I'm currently on Social Security. My only income was this B&B. And so my concern is you're cutting away from my current way of life. Mine is a little bit different because I live in the home. No one comes and stays at my facility without me meeting them at the front door. They have no way to get in until they meet me and I meet them, and I vent to everybody that comes through because I live there, because I don't want people in my home that are going to destroy my home. At the same time, you're all talking about animals. I mean, I have deer that lay down in my back fort. I have a wooded back and beautiful, beautiful birds of all different kinds that come. And people come there. I'm a 5 out of 5 rating. I've never had a problem with anyone. No one destroying anything. You know, maybe the price is a little higher than some Airbnbs, but purposely, so that I get the right type of people in that are going to appreciate the place. But I am 24/7 answering to any of their questions, any of their needs. I would love for any of you to come visit at any time, but I take a lot of pride in the home. Like I said, being from the 1864s, it says a lot for Mentor and their old ways. And I would love to be considered as a possibility that maybe we could change the new ruling to be more of, being approved by Mentor to do it. Not just anybody can do it. I have no problem with you coming in and saying, okay, this is the right location and you look like you're doing a great job or whatever. I've always paid my taxes. I've always claimed all the money. I did fill out the forms that wanted the hotel tax that Mentor put. So I have no problem with working with the city at all. I actually appreciate that. So my question is, I would love to see it back on the discussion of possibly bringing that back. And like I said, most of the people that come into my home are either to visit other Mentor residents or to see Headlands Beach or to go to the Garfield home. And I have all kinds of information for them at the house, showing what Mentor has and what they can do. And some people even that are going to move into the area will come and stay. So that's my spiel.
Thank you.
I'm on Verbo. Right now I'm on Verbo with a 31. You have to stay at least 31 days because I changed it because of your new ruling. But I would love to be able to put it back to where it was so that I can support myself. And I love Mentor. It's a great
Thought it
place.
was a cocktail lounge.
Oh, and it's a no. Only if you guys come over. I mean, it's St. Patty's Day, by the way. Happy St. Patty's Day to everyone. So,
Mr. Vice President?
Yes.
For the law director, I know we didn't discuss this when we were talking about short-term rentals. Does bed and breakfast fall underneath that short-term rental?
No, typically bed and breakfast is
well, mine is a bed
well,
and
they're
breakfast.
not permitted though.
Okay.
I'll start with the bad news
Okay.
first. But bed and breakfast is not a permitted use anywhere in the city of Mentor, except for the old village zoning classification, which is basically just the old Center Street School at this point. There's a provision there allowing for B&B. Bed and breakfast is a unique type of facility. It's owner occupied, as she has indicated, offers typically some type of food service as well, and so it has a specific business model that zoning codes would reflect. So that could be a very discrete code amendment for individuals who have owner occupied structures and intend to actually provide direct services to the individuals staying there.
I think I feel that it's a big asset for Mentor to have places like this that people can come and see the history and
Since you're owner occupied,
right.
it makes a big difference from somebody just renting out their place for 3 days or whatever.
And again, I don't even give people codes to the house until I've met them. I'm very picky. Again, it's my home and I live there. I live in a separate area of the house, but I still live at the house. So I'm asking you to reconsider.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Counsel?
Mr. Vice President, I would like to move to adjourn into executive session pursuant to revised code 121.22G4 for the purpose of preparing for conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment, and also to go into executive session pursuant to revised code section 121.22G2 to consider the purchase of property for public purpose and for the reason that any premature disclosure of information would give an unfair competitive or bargaining advantage to a person whose personal private interest is adverse to the general public interest.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Sean, go ahead.
Yes. Mr. Vice President, I move we go back into regular session.
Second.
Call the roll, please, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes. Move to adjourn.
Second.